From NBC News, this is Today with Katie Couric and Matt Lauer.
This morning on Today's Woman, hair loss. It's almost expected that a man will lose his hair, and when he does, it can sometimes be sexy. But when a woman begins to lose her hair, it can be extremely traumatic. Anna Marie Stevens from Syracuse, New York, started losing her dark, thick, curly hair well over 10 years ago.
I just could not get it to look the way I wanted it to look. And then my husband noticed in the crown area in the back that there was a spot, a bare spot. It's very upsetting, very upsetting. I should have seen it coming because my mom had tremendously thin hair by the time she was the age that it started with me.
Hereditary hair thinning can start appearing at any age. In actuality, most women develop it in their 40s or 50s, but some girls can start developing it during teenage years.
At first, Anna Marie was in denial, finding ways to camouflage it.
I tried just teasing it and picking it out, and I tried combing it to the left, combing it to the right. I reached a point where nothing works anymore.
And it was then she finally consulted her daughter, who specialized in hair placement. Anna Marie opted for a non-surgical hair replacement system that is adhered to the scalp and integrates both existing and replacement hair.
My daughter, Alicia, did the Reallusions process on my hair. That's when my whole life changed. My self-confidence was restored. I had my hair back.
Happy with the result, she decided to buy into the business and counsel other women who are struggling with hair loss.
You don't have to live with it. You don't. Get your life back. Do something about it.
And gynecologist Dr. Judith Reichman is a Today contributor, and Dr. Kimberly Flemke is a therapist at the Council for Relationships. Doctors, nice to have you both here this morning.
Good morning, Natalie.
Well, Judith, as we saw, it can be hereditary with women, but what are some of the other causes for balding among women?
Sudden hair loss can occur with a lot of different medical conditions that actually cause a shock to the scalp. And one of the most common is a change in hormone levels. When a woman has a baby, stops her birth control pills, stops hormone replacement. Another reason would be emotional shock, surgery, medications can do it, radiation, chemotherapy can do it, thyroid condition, and severe dieting where a woman loses protein or she becomes very anemic. All of these will get the hair to fall out about a month or two later. But the good news is in most cases the hair will grow back as the shock resolves. One of the other conditions you hear about as well is alopecia. Can you explain what that is? That's an autoimmune disorder in which white cells actually attack the hair follicles and cause the hair to grow off. It falls out in patches usually, or it can fall out in the entire head, eyebrows, or even in the entire body. We don't know what causes it, but there's some sort of autoimmune condition. It's more in certain families, and we do know that 4 million Americans actually suffer from alopecia.
You know, when a man starts to lose his hair, it is somewhat acceptable. But Kimberly, when women start to lose their hair, I mean, women, you know, a lot of our identity is wrapped up in our hair. Why are we so attached?
I think there's so much meaning behind hair. So for instance, it's a sense of beauty, it's a sense of sex appeal, and it's also a sense of self-expression. So when that hair begins to be lost, it also can conjure up feelings of a sense of loss and not being in control, because you really can't control the ability to keep your hair in your head.
And then when women start to lose that, when they try to hide the fact, and that can also kind of, in a way, make the problem even worse for them, right? When you're trying to camouflage it.
Right, and what happens is you become so overly focused to what's going on in your head that it draws more attention to it, because most people don't necessarily define you by your hair, although often we will, you know, the way we view ourselves is that is a condition of how we see ourselves.
And women feel very alone probably in trying to deal with it. So what advice can you give some women who may be going through that right now?
Well, what you just said is it's so important. They are not alone. There are millions of women that are suffering with hair loss, and no one talks about it the way we do with men. And recognizing that double standard in our culture where men, if they're bald, they're sexy. For women, there is no label yet, so it's a negative connotation that there's something wrong with me. So even just learning how to redefine that definition of beauty.
Dr. Judith Reichman, thanks so much, and Kimberly Flemke, thank you as well. And if you want more information on women and hair loss, just go to our website at today.msnbc.com.